Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside at Genie, where we will be taking a look at the racing today on the Hollywood Gravel Poly Track. Today, the 10th of May, we have a nine race card, which is unusual for the Monday afternoon. And we are having one or two maiden plates, and the rest is all handicaps, lower division, E division, and D division handicap. And that surely makes it difficult selecting because your horses in the lower handicaps is not the most consistent horses racing, and therefore making selections will be difficult today. So we kick off here with race number 1, which is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters, and the year betting is as follows: number 3, Loving the Victory, 13 to 10, 2 to 1, Diamond Girl, Make It Happen, 10 to 1, Leopold Lady, 9 to 1, Red Rosa, 12 to 1, 18 to 1, Brassy Lassie, 22 to 1, and Better the Rest. So let's have a look here at the form in race 1, where our first selection is number 6, which is Diamond Girl. Diamond Girl is from the Dennis Dwyer stable, Sean Wheelenboard, racing from draw 6, which is quite reasonable. This horse has had 2 nice runs, introduction to racing. Then his last run over the poly track was there. He was second all the time, but got run late out of it by Green Dream, also the 1,200 meters. But I'm surely this will be this horse's third race, and I'm thinking this horse will be stripping much fitter, really. And I'll be thinking that definitely this horse will be there when the photos are taken come the end of the race. Then for outsider selections, I went to number 2, Leopard Lady. Leopard Lady is also a horse that has only had 3 runs. And I also got the impression, that this horse might be better than his form shows, running from draw 2 for the Wittendal stable. Last time was there, and then over the 1,200 meters on the gravel turf track. He says here, restless, hampered, late, restless, handy, and then tired late. And I think he's had 1 run on the poly, which was not that bad, 2 lengths behind Green Hill. And I'm thinking Leopard Lady is surely a type of horse that can improve. Now, my other outsider selection is the number 8 horse, which is Red Rosa. Also a Lingari by Cruisenstern, and it surely thinks that this horse might want better, but he ran some of his best. He ran over 1,000 meters behind Stratton Street, and then over the 1,200 meters last time, going to 1,600 meters, but didn't shape. So over the 1,400 meters, he ran third. And I'm just thinking this is a nice horse for the back end of your quartets and trifecta selections, trying the 1,200 meters today on the poly for the first time. And then we move on to the favorite, which is number 3, Loving the Victory. Also a coup de grace, a right approach. Me coming from Gauteng has had a few runs on the poly, to be sure, 4 runs for a third and 2 fourths. And if Kamala on board from draw 3, certainly is a contender in this field, but is not a strong favorite, I would think. There are other horses, as I said, there are horses of chances. One of the horses that you need to maybe include in the back end of your quartet is number 5, Outlet. It looks like this horse might improve. He ran on a little bit, 23.7, which is not bad in his first race over the Scots for 1,100 meters. And now from draw 5 under 1,200 meters might, pitch up in the placings. So let's move on to race number 2, which is a merit rated 64 handicap over 1,200 meters, class E, average merit rated 60. And that will be the trend of the day. That's the type of races we're going to see today. Number 1, Crusader Star, 5 to 2, Pacific Winter, 3 to 10, 7, Great Guy, 11 to 2, 8 to 1, Grand Maestro, 10 to 1, 3 of Knowledge, 10 to 1, Lord Carrow, Alpha Mike Foxtrot, 10 to 1, 14 to 1, Agent Murphy, 20 to 1, We All Chommies, and 20 to 1 at Better the Rest. So here my first selection is number 7 horse, which is Great Guy. Now, we are racing here in an E60. Great Guy has been racing in much higher handicaps, C divisions, the C division, and it's his first time since his maiden win that he's running in the E division, and he's getting the -1.5. And I would think that this kind of race would ideally suit this horse down in class. Is comfortable with the course and distance 6 run, a winner second and 2/4. He's getting the -1.5. And I do feel that number 7, Great Guy, is a strong contender in this race. Outside the selections is number 2, which is Grand Maestro, the Moore stable, Warren Kennedy on board. And Warren Kennedy is riding at the top of his game lately. Surely, if he's on a horse, you need to take a notice of that. Also, this horse has been running there and thereabouts in a little bit higher handicaps, and I think can be a factor today, Grande Maestro. My other outsider selection is number 8, which is Agent Murphy. Lyle Hewitson on board. Lyle also riding well. And I've just got a feeling that this horse is better than his rating. He has run this course and distances, 4 runs, 1 win, and 1 second. And then also an important factor, which I don't always talk about, but you can surely take notice of that, is the distance category. That means in this distance category, this horse has run 12 times for 2 wins and 3 seconds. So that's 5 out of 5 times over this distance category. He's been involved in the finish, which surely is a good record to take notice of. Then my as well, I touch at number 6, Pacific Winter. That's also a horse that's been running down 3 lengths, 4 lengths, and Danielson on board from draw 6. And I'm thinking that this horse today can be involved in the finish as well, Pacific Winter. But there are other horses of chances in this race. Crusader Star in with a chance. Has been running well. One is maiden, and then didn't run too bad after the maiden, but needs to build onto that one. Lord Carroll also ran after his maiden, took a while to, took 51 runs to win the maiden. And yeah, I'm going to pass this one by. Let me move on to the next one, race, which is race number 3. And that is a maiden plate over 1,600 meters. And the betting as follows. Number 10, Chocolate, 22 to 10, the Gold, 3 to 1, Cauldron 4 to 1, 5 to 1, Broadmaster, Catch the Tune 6 to 1, Kunta Kinti 16 to 1, Mr. Bayview 20 to 1, and 35 to 1, and better the rest. Well, here in race 3, my selection is the number 1 horse, Cauldron, has got 1 guarantee on board from draw 1. And I do feel that a 1,600 meters is going to suit this horse down to the ground. The Willow Magic by Kabume has been running on a few times in his last few runs, except for this run behind Northern Warrior. I don't know what went wrong there, but I do feel that 1,600 meters might suit this horse. And I think number 1, Cauldron, a huge runner in this field, which is not a very strong field. Outside the selections, number 3, Broadmaster, has been running 4 to 5 lengths behind, also going 1,600 last time, behind Montana Sky, over one paced and then tired. But I feel today, Broadmaster definitely in with a chance in this weekish field. And then number 5, Catch the Tune, Frank Robinson. I think this is a nicely bred individual, and based on the breeding, I think from King the Mother from draw 5 can also be a contender in this field when the photos are taken at the end. Number 6, Kunta Kinte. Definitely, I think definitely a horse that you can include in your play. Then we move on to the next race, which is race number 4, the first leg of the pick 6. And here we have the betting as follows. Number 8, Smart William, 5 to 2, Montana Sky, 4 to 1, Higher Purpose, 9 to 2, 5 to 1, Brandenburg, 12 to 1, Royce Seco, So Smooth, 12 to 1, 14 to 1, Perfectly Pied, 20 to 1, Viking Red, and Longer the Rest. Just something I just want to mention quickly, sometimes when we think there's huge fields, that we think, the favorite has got no chance. But I've seen normally I don't know how it works, but sometimes you get these huge fields and they're getting 4-1 the field, and then the favorite wins. And then you get these smaller fields where you get the 8-10 or the 9-10, and you think, well, in this small field, this horses must have a chance. And then he gets beaten. Just the observation I'm making. Now, in this race, I'm going for the number 5 horse, which is, sorry, the number 8 horse, which is Smart William. I gave Smart William last time out behind Precious Love. I gave Smart William as my best bet of the day based on the fact that he's been running against much stronger opposition in Cape Town. Now, I can tell you that and when I did my selection, Smart William was going to be ridden by Anton Marcus. So that was because of the fact that Anton Marcus was riding the horse. And then the next thing, Marcus gets goes off for a medical reason, and they put on Jacobs. Now, I've got nothing against the jockey, but I do know that there's a rule that says if a jockey is replaced, he must be replaced by something equal competent. Now, Jacobs is nowhere equal competent to Anton Marcus. That's a fact. And the jockey didn't give the horse a good ride. I was thinking, watching the race, the horse came in wide into the straight, and I just felt that if this horse had a better, stronger jockey on, not a better jockey, a stronger jockey coming into the finish, that he would have won. He was getting there, but he was just getting too late, and I just felt with a stronger ride, this horse would have won. So now today I'm sticking my everything onto Dylan to bring this horse home. I do feel that again he's down in class. He's running in an E59, which is even a little lower than he ran in last time. And I mean, this horse has run an E and C divisions 8-1 triple jet, the second wave one after that. Yes, Warrior won a future in Cape Town the other day. And surely based on this Rascallion, I mean, look at his horses in this horse. I think this horse, well, in my pick 6, I have banked at number 8, Smart William, which I don't always do. I do believe the best bet of the day. So now it's up to Mr. Dillon to bring this horse home for the punters today at 5-2. Surely a nice value, best bet for the day. Get on early. I'm not sure if this horse is going to jump at 5-2. And for outsider selections, I'm going for number 9, Brandenburg. Brandenburg, in his previous 2 runs, also ran against the stronger opposition and also meeting, some horses of a higher caliber than he's racing here. And last time was in the same race as Precious Love, was doing the pace making and got run out of it by, at the end of the day. There's got Kamala on board now, surely inclusion in all of your play. And then number 7, number 10, Viking Red, already a 7-year-old, can't improve much, but also a horse running always there, 5-6 lengths behind, 2 lengths behind. And I think today, on this course and distance, 17 runs, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and a fourth. He likes the course and distance, and surely a type of horse that you want to put in the back end of your quartet and trifecta selections to boost to boost the dividend if it plays. Viking Red is here at 20-1, and certainly will boost the payout if that horse is placed. And then I want to have a look at number 1, which is Higher Purpose. Higher Purpose is also a horse that has been running against a little bit stronger position than he's meeting in this race. And I think also the type of horse that can improve and be involved in the finish. Last time ran 5th in the same race behind Precious Love. So definitely, I think number 8, my strong recommendation for this race to be victorious come the winning post. So let's move on to race number 5. Which is another Felicia Mayer 68 handicap class D, average merit at 65 over the 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 5, Lundy Island, 28-10. 5-2, Good Girl. Thanks, Theatrical Moment, 11-2. Reckless Life, 7-1. To the Max, 7-1. 8-1, Lady of Latia. Dancing Sword, 8-1. Dies the Bullet, 14-1. Sans Dance, 14-1. Scratch number 2, Kapama. That must have been a late scratching because I just now it wasn't scratched. So let's look here at race number 5, and the betting as follows. My first selection, race number 5, is horse number 6, which is Reckless Love. Now, you won't believe this. When I did my selections, I didn't pick it up. But when I looked at the first 3, they were all from the Wendy Whitehead stable. And that was surely not planned, but this is just the way when I did my selections. And here, number 6, Reckless Love. You see this horse is run in C divisions. After his maiden, he ran in a D division and 2 C divisions. And last time out, ran against Fire Fairy, who was winning, and then Fire Fairy has won again since that. So that makes that strong, that form a little bit stronger. And I think Reckless Love also getting a -1.5 might be too strong in this field. And then for outsider selections, I went with the number 1 horse, which is also from the Wendy Whitehead stable. That's horse also down in class. But last time, if you have a look, this horse in his last 4 races never had a draw. 11 out of 11, 12 out of 12, 11 out of 14, 11 out of 11. And now today, drawing number 1 and only carrying 52 kilograms. Surely that brings number 1, Sans Dancer, in the picture. And Sans Dancer here, 14-1, down at the bottom. If this horse runs into the placing, you will be standing in a payout queue, laughing, thanking outside the Genie. And then here's the stable companion, number 10, To the Max. No, To the Max has also been running well after winning with the Gravel 600 meters, and surely loves this distance, course and distance, 8 runs, 3 wins, 2 seconds and a third. So that is 6 out of 8 times this horse was involved in the money over this course and distance. And surely, I think, a huge contender in this race, To the Max. And then we're also going to have a look at number 9, who is Dies the Bullet. This horse comes from the Alexander stable, would be his first time over Polly. But I don't think this Duke of Marlborough filly by Jalek will have a problem. And this horse has also been running constantly, 5 lengths behind, 1 length behind. And I'm thinking maybe this is a nice inclusion today. First time on the Polly. And you never know, he might like the Polly, go to the front, don't get caught. Or as you can see, the horse also runs on nicely. So maybe if Raymond Anderson can place the horse and let it run on, it might be a contender come the finishing line. So let's move on to the next race, which is race number 6, which is a 1400 meters merit rated 72 handicap. And here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Avenir, 9-2, Flying Peter, 5-1, Rockcliffe, 11-2, 7-1, Living Waters, Night Warrior, 8-1, Casera, 8-1, the Snow Wall, 12-1, Black Fox, 14-1, Follow the Path, 18-1. Yeah, in this race, my pick was between the number 6 and the number 8 horse. And eventually I settled on the number 8 horse from the Gavin van Zyl stable, Warren Kennedy on board. This horse has run against a nice opposition last time out behind Tromso, and I'm thinking that today over this 1400 meters on a distance that he has won and run third twice, Living Waters is going to run a huge race, especially with Warren Kennedy on board. He knows the horse. He has won with it twice, and I do think that this horse is going to run a huge race. You can see earlier last year, ran against Gentleman's Way. Gentleman's Way, I think, has won twice since. And you can see here in this horse, and most of his runs, the winners from that run, which certainly shows that he's been running against some useful fields. So I settled on number 8, Living Waters. But then number 6, Rockcliffe, for me, a nice outsider selection. Now, if you have a look at this horse, ran fourth behind Avenir and was giving Avenir 2 kilograms. Now today, there's a swing of 61 to 58, and that's 3 plus 2. There's a turnaround of 5 kilograms in favor of Rockcliffe. So on paper, Avenue cannot beat Rockcliffe. And then he ran a nice race also in a little bit higher divisions, the 75, 73. His horses run behind Bio Bridge, running 2.5 lengths behind, moved up one pace. So, but I think Rockcliffe also shown wheel. The Dennis the stable is getting to form again. Yeah, went through a bit of a quiet patch, but certainly I think today can be a contender. And then also when I have a look at number 7, my other outsider selection, Night Warrior, Dennis Boss stable. This horse has also been running in C divisions and D divisions at a higher level, and with Luke Ferreras on board, can also be a contender. So, and then we are going to look at number 11, which is Kausera, Lyle Hewitson on board. Also, a horse that's been running against a little bit of stronger, and it's always there and thereabouts. And Luke Watson on board hasn't won with it again, but has run a few places. But certainly, I would think a contender in this field, number 11, Kausera. So then we move on to race number 7, which is a merited 72 handicap over 1,400 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Let me just grease my throat a bit here. Apologize. Number 2, Master of Destiny, 18 to 10. Sovereign Soldier, 11 to 10. Euphoric, 11 to 2. Sovereign Soldier, 11 to 2. 10 to 1, Canadian Bull, Taravida, 10 to 1. Cool Runnings, 12 to 1. Star of Joburg, 11 to 1. 14 to 1, Rainbow Rising, Gaza Gallop, 16 to 1, and 20 to 1, and better the rest. Now, here in race 7, my first selection is the number 2 horse, which is Master of Destiny. Again, Dennis Dreyer, Sean Wheel. As I said, the stable is getting in form. Last time out was beaten by Tom Bombadil. Just came to late, was running unwell. The race before that was bulk, but still managed to win. And I think number 2, Master of Destiny, a huge runner in this field. For my outsider selections, I went with number 7, Gazala Gallop. This Curari by Russian Revival Mare out of the Frank Robertson stable. Luke Ferraris on board. This horse from when he won his maiden, Banzai Pipeline came out and won again. You can see 11 runners. He's also been running against some decent fields, because you can see out of his 1 race, 10 races, 1 winner, 9 races, 1 winner, 11 races, 11 runners, 2 winners. And I just want to mention, just keep in mind that this figure here only shows horses that won immediately after this race. It do not show horses that is little bit, maybe 2 or 3 rounds later won a race. Because I can assure you, if you go and check these fields, you'll probably find that there's more than 1 winner, especially in this kind of fields. So when Gaza Gallop won his maiden, after that, he ran in D divisions, but, you know, he didn't show too much, didn't run well. But last time out, certainly for me, run an improved race behind Tromso up there. And I think after this rest, and he's going to second run after the race, hopefully we're going to have a second run after the race syndrome. But I think that this horse has definitely run better, because that was his first run as a gelding. He was gelded in February, and I think he can only improve. And I think at the price he is in the betting, Gaza Gallop down here in 16 to 1. Certainly, if this horse runs a place, you will be in the payout queue collecting. Then my other outsider selection is number 9, which is Travada. Travada, I don't know, you'll remember this, but here on the 14th of December, I gave this horse, and it ran third, paying I think 9 or 10 rand a place. And then he certainly ran on. And then his second last race with Solomon's on board, the jockey took the horse to the front, which was totally against the way the horse runs, and it duly faded. And then last time out, I think of Richard Fourie, because his style will suit this horse. I was very strong on Taraveda because of that fact. But maybe the 1600 meters was just too short for him. And I'm hoping today that he will run an improved race over Richard Fourie over the 1400 meters again today. Because certainly Richard Fourie, as I said yesterday in my preview, that he's one of the best jockeys in the country to bring a horse from behind. As I said, that Pierre Stradom was a master riding from the front. Well, Pierre Stradom is a master. Can run from anywhere, but we all know that he is the type of jockey that you can take a horse to the front and keep it going. And I dare, and the same thing, I think Richard Fourie again is a type of jockey that can bring the horse from behind. And certainly number 9, Theravada Dune, we must give him another chance. Then we can also look at the horse number 5, which is Calgary. Now, Calgary also is a horse that I really have been following for a while. He came from Fairview, took a while to take his feet, to find his feet. But I'm just thinking one of these days, this horse is going to put it together. You know, you can see he beat a horse called Thomas Tucker. And we all know what happened on Friday with Thomas Tucker beating stiff horses and good horses. I can still not believe that Thomas Tucker won that race. But based on that, Calgary should be walking this race, but I know it doesn't work like that. But Calgary is certainly a horse that you maybe want to include at the back end of your quartets. Craig Zack is surely a good jockey, and I know you'll give this horse the best he can. So do include in your play. And then we move on to race number 8. Which is a merit rated 63 handicap for fillies and mares over 1400 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Hot Money, 9 to 2. Foxy Lady, 11 to 2. Someone Exciting, 7 to 1. Capriccio, 7 to 1. Noble Rhythm, 8 to 1. Rainbow Unicorn, 8 to 1. Eager Duchess, 17 to 2. Star Choice, 17 to 2. 20 to 1. And Better the rest. So here in race number 8, my first selection is the number 11 horse. Although coming from a wild draw, I have got again the confidence in Richard Fourie again. This horse won 3 runs back on the poly, also came from the clouds to get up, and I think similar tactics will be followed today. And this horse runs on nicely and might be the one they all have to beat. Then my outsider selections is number 1, which is hang on a second, number 1, which is Eager Duchess. This horse won his maiden from start to finish over the 1200 meters Scottsville, and it's a Duke of Marmalade filly by Captain Elmy, surely well bred, and has been running there and thereabouts against here and there against some decent opposition. And I just think that this horse is ready to improve, especially if Lyle Hewitson on board today will be on the board of this horse for the first time. And I think he will make a big difference. Then my other outsider selection is number 2, Noble Rhythm. Now, Noble Rhythm, as you can see, has been running in C division, E divisions. Last time out, ran gone Metadora's Pride. I don't know what happened there, but I think based on the fact that she has run against some stronger opposition, number 2, Noble Rhythm, should be included in all bets. And then we have a look at number 5, which is Hot Money. Now, Hot Money is from the Wendy Whitehead stable, and maybe that is a stable that you can follow today. They've got a lot of runners, and maybe not just for wins, but also, you know, for places and putting into whatever play you do. You will notice that number 5, Hot Money, is always placed. He hasn't won for 299 days. After his maiden in July, he won his maiden in July. But he's always there and thereabouts, and certainly a type of horse that you cannot leave out because this horse is due for a win shortly. Then we move on to just another horse I want to quickly touch on. Sorry, this is the number. I just want to scroll back here. Spring Lightning is also a horse that can surprise, as well as number 4, Someone Exciting. Also a horse that's been running trying for a long time, 428 days to put together the next race, and certainly is overdue for the win. So that brings me to the end of my preview for today. I hope I could point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.